Buongiorno.
Welcome to our Italian city.
You guys, we now live in Italy.
Hi, we're Tanner, Risa, Willa, and Noah. We're an American family living our dream of life abroad and documenting our experiences along the way. Shortly after graduating from college, we took off on an adventure to backpack Southeast Asia and New Zealand. That experience changed us. In 2019, our oldest was born, and 1 year later, we moved to Germany. We spent nearly 3 beautiful years integrating into the country and traveling around Europe. At the end of 2023, we moved from Germany to Japan, where we lived an hour south of Tokyo. We made the most of our time there and had some of our favorite memories with family and friends. What a privilege it was to learn more about Asia and expand our perspectives. Recently, we announced that we've moved to northern Italy. We're so excited to pick up on our adventures in Europe yet again and experience La Dolce Vita in Italy. This is our story to tell.
High five.
It's the first time riding in Italy.
Yeah, it is.
It's so beautiful.
Did you make sure you activated them?
It's getting more beautiful. Look. It's getting like Italy. Woohoo.
Well, that's where we went to the grocery store for the first time.
Yeah, you remember that. So we get off.
We're seeing so much on the bus.
I know, it's nice. Should have on the first day.
We made it here to the downtown area and we're just beyond excited to explore. We have a lot of fun things in store for today. We're hoping to go ice skating. We have a lunch reservation and right now we're seeing a morning market.
Well, look who it is.
Pikachu.
Pikachu. Ooh, that kind of does look good.
Oh, it smells so good. And more golden raisins.
Sleeping Beauty one.
Well, little Squish fell asleep and we walked and made it here to the train station.
Yeah, we saw the market the entire way and it's been really fun to see all the different like food options and like the crafts and clothing and stuff. Now we're going to be making our way back that way because we are going to what?
An ice skating rink. Willa has been very patient. We're so excited. But before we leave for that, I'm going to brag just a little bit here that I spoke some Italian. I bought a book. It came fairly easy. I mean, it was only one sentence, maybe two that we're talking here, so not much, but it's just fun and I feel like my confidence here is definitely showing compared to Germany and Japan, so that's kind of nice. Like I'm catching on a little bit and already putting sentences together.
I know. It's a big step for you. It's good.
Also, one thing that comes to mind is there's a lot of people here with some frowny faces.
And it's not like that they're just like frowning. I think they're just
Scowling.
Scowling.
They're like, there's the law, and they just kind of watch. And I'm trying to keep my eyes out for like gypsies or like pickpocketing. What is it? Pickpocketing. We don't want to talk poorly at all. We've just heard a lot of stories on like the US Facebook pages.
In general, there's a lot more petty theft and crime that goes on here, and we were well aware of that. We're definitely being more aware and vigilant than we were definitely in Japan, but even more so than Germany. So it's not a bad rap, but definitely something we're trying to be more conscious of while we're just out and about, even on like a morning like this. What are you guys doing over here? Look at the wall.
It's so slippery. Good job.
Okay, remember you gotta do slow, long movements.
Skate out, right? Is it kind of like...
Yep, like mommy is doing.
Watch my foot right here. Where you skate and you go like this, out.
It looks...
Good job, baby.
How are you doing? Having fun?
You do good? Keep going. Hold my hand or have your hands up.
Nice work, sweetie.
We just ordered some hot chocolate. I'm already loving it because this is so thick. Like,
it is.
in our previous video, we went to like this coffee and like pastry bakery place, and that chocolate I would say was thicker. It was like a dipping chocolate, but this is like a drinking one. And yeah, it's really rich. It's really good and quite hot, which feels amazing because it's really cold. Probably our coldest day here in Italy, I would say.
Alright, just taking a quick pause in this beautiful area to share some of our thoughts and feelings, first impressions here. And for me, it definitely feels like coming home, being back to Europe. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that it is more Western culture. It was a lot of what we experienced during our few years in Germany. A few other things that make it feel a little bit more like home, I think, has to do with the fact that the language is easier to understand for us. The architecture is very similar, the food, so many other aspects that kind of make sense and make it feel like more of something that we're comfortable with. Not to say that we didn't love our time in Japan, but it's just one of those things that's more familiar. And being here again, it is bringing back so many of those memories. That being said, there are some things that we totally forgot about, and that is like how much people smoke here. Nothing against those who do, but we definitely were away from so much smoking in Japan. With that, I'm gonna go catch up to the girls. We're gonna go explore before we have lunch.
Dai, ma tutti attorno.
So we're assuming this is the main piazza, the main square of Vicenza, and to the left of me I have the museum, and I think that's one of the top things to do here in the downtown area. That's just from a quick glance. We honestly aren't like exploring this as like tourists, we're just exploring it as like, where are we gonna live? Let's go check out where we're gonna live. But being here is just like, I know I keep saying it, probably a broken record, but it's really so cool. The architecture, we came to Italy before, so it's not like it's surprising, but it's just like so beautiful. All of the colors, I love like the terracotta, all the colors. My favorite. It's fun to come on a Sunday where there's a market, like there's dogs barking, there's lights going, there's just a lot of people walking around, more than I expected, honestly. And when we got here this morning, it was feeling really quiet, but not anymore. There are a lot of people out. Totally different than our experience in Japan, where there's so many people in Japan too, but maybe feels like a little more vibrant. Like Japanese people are just like so respectful, polite, kind. They kind of keep to themselves. There's a lot of laughs and fun in Japan too, don't get me wrong, but you can just like hear loud conversations, and you can hear like people socializing. Rather in Japan, it's, you know, they're talking, but they're talking quietly. They don't want to like disrupt. And here it's just like different. You searching for birds?
Looking for birds.
If you could take a little, finish it any more protein.
We're just walking out. Our funnest dining experience, I think, ever.
Probably. I don't know about ever, but it definitely felt like one of the most fancy that we've ever had.
We got gummy.
And they got gummy alligators at the very end.
Check out.
A really fun experience overall. Definitely different than what we're used to, because they had like the different courses, the appetizer,
antipasto, and the first course.
Yeah.
The food was amazing.
Yeah, it really was amazing. Great service, great quality.
Our favorite was a pumpkin risotto, which was so good. But let's be honest, with kids,
the pace of eating and with kids, it was just like, but it was still like a fun experience. It was just like, it's really hard to imagine doing this very often. For one, obviously, we're doing this right now because we have a little bit of a food stipend that we can have during the first few weeks of getting here, or else we likely wouldn't be trying at least this one with the kids. We would probably do a date night.
Yeah, this would have to be a specialty one. Yeah, I feel like, especially coming from Japan, where like individuals are walking in and out of restaurants, even nice restaurants, like in solid time.
In like 20 to 30 minutes, like tops.
Yeah, like this is a big change for us.
Because we got there at what time, Risa? We got there at
1:30? We were there before reservation.
Probably got there at 1:15, and we just left at 3.
Yeah. And it makes me wonder, like, everyone talks about individuals, especially in Europe, like really enjoying their food and eating slower. But here in Italy, I wonder if sometimes it's not as much that they're taking a long time to eat their food, it's just that they're not getting their food very fast. So as I'm saying that out loud, I'm sure that they are eating a little slower because their meal's not coming as quickly. So they're slowing down and enjoying it. However, when I looked around, there were a lot of people that were done eating and just like kind of waiting for their next dish. So I think the way service is, it creates an environment that's slower paced and it creates that social eating and dining experience. In my head, I always just thought, you know, people were just really slow eaters, but I think the service also contributes. Overall though,
really fun experience, really tasty.
Oh wow. It feels like so quiet and to ourselves. Like we're just walking to a bus stop to go home. Babe, like we could live here if we wanted.
Yeah, we could.
And there's a lot of Americans that do.
Yeah.
That is the bus stop. The bus home was really crowded. It was Sunday though, so I guess that could be expected for a Sunday afternoon. There were a lot of teenagers on the bus, and Tanner and I both mentioned and noticed how they were just very expressive, teasing with each other, having fun, and that's really different. I know I keep referring back to Japan, but I mean, there's just so many culture shocks, and that is one that's very different than teenagers in Japan, especially on public transportation. If you've ever been to Japan, public transportation is very unique in the fact that it is like so quiet, like so quiet. It's so fun going and exploring like your local town or city for the first time because the perspective changes a lot. So for us, it's been 1 week and we've just explored by foot outside of the gate, not very far because you can't walk that far with kids on foot without a vehicle. And so today just like really expanded our perspective of what our time like here in Italy is going to look like. Thank you so much for being here. It's so fun to share this adventure with you. If you haven't already, be sure to hit the like button, the subscribe button. It means a lot to us, and we'll see you on the next video.